did the Obama administration essentially, assemble all this intelligence to, become a political weapon against Trump back in 2016? That is what DNI Tulsi Gabbard and CIA Director John Ratcliffe are essentially putting forth to the American people.
Welcome to Reporter's Notebook, where we talk to the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the stories breaking on their beats. I'm Jim Antle, and I'm joined today by Justice Department reporter Kaelan Deese. And Kaelan, the Trump-Russia investigation reappraisal continues. And you and Sarah Bedford have done a story looking at a whistleblower. What are some of the latest findings?
Yeah, so the information about the whistleblower came out today from DNI Tulsi Gabbard, part of her ongoing release of information that is fueling the notion that there was many intelligence officials, including the FBI, that were simply ignoring evidence that suggested that there wasn't this massive collusion scandal between Russia and the Trump campaign. Mm-hmm. Now, this is a mid-level official within the intelligence community that decided to put forth a memo statement categorizing what he said was essentially efforts to make outreach with the intelligence community inspector general under the Biden administration to get this information out there that there was not any substantial evidence to corroborate that there was this collusion. But during from 2021, from 2020 actually to 2022, there was basically no response to his efforts to raise this up to the inspector general. This is sort of continuing this pattern, I would say, that the DNI has been putting out there, that there were multiple instances where there were time to check this information and verify it, and whenever they did verify it, they found there wasn't actually enough strong links, but decided to continue with this narrative regardless. And that's sort of where we're at right now. Is we have this one whistleblower that came forward this week, and from my sources, I have been hearing that there's going to be multiple whistleblowers that will come forward in the future. This seems to be sort of the start, though, of getting someone who was privy to the intelligence communications on this issue out into the forefront. So
Durham was looking into the origins of the Trump-Russia investigation during Trump's first term. While a number of his findings were unfavorable to the people who conducted the early Trump-Russia investigations, a lot of Trump supporters were disappointed by the results of Durham's investigation. Are any of those things that he uncovered getting sort of new light, new attention since Tulsi Gabbard's release of a trove of documents?
Yeah, I think that the main elements of the 24-page annex that came forward was that there was a effort by the FBI to look at the information that was coming out of the intelligence community and take it with a grain of salt. But ultimately, when they did their determinations on it, they decided to move forward with the Russia collusion narrative, despite having some awareness that there was efforts by the Clinton campaign to push this narrative at the same time. There was definitely an interest politically from the Clinton camp on this. I mean, we even, part of this annex contains a memo detailing confidential conversations between the DNC chair, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and senior officials at the George Soros Open Society Foundations. Mm-hmm. Now, that's a strong allegation that's coming out from the from the current Trump administration.
Right.
And basically, where we're at is, this is laying the groundwork, I think, for the task force within the DOJ to start to, further their investigations. Was there a grander conspiracy here against rights? Did the Obama administration essentially, assemble all this intelligence to, become a political weapon against Trump back in 2016? That is what DNI Tulsi Gabbard and CIA Director John Ratcliffe are essentially putting forth to the American people.
So President Trump in his second term has had trouble filling these vacant U.S. attorney spots. Is there anything the administration is doing? I know they're very frustrated, especially considering there's a Republican-controlled Senate. Mm-hmm. Is there anything the administration's now doing to try to facilitate getting their people through?
Yeah, so we've seen the Senate Judiciary Committee go through about a dozen U.S. attorney nominees through committee, but none of them have been put up for a vote. There's Democrats, such as Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, who are trying to stymie any efforts to get these people up for a vote. And meanwhile, the Judiciary Committee Democrats are, Dick Durbin is, causing a lot of, tumult for these efforts. Now, the upshot of it is that the Trump administration has been making some maneuvers with the Vacancies Reform Act that basically allows them to take some of these interim appointees, swap them out, and temporarily to give them acting status, which sort of gives them another around 210 days in that spot. And the problem is that, without these, Senate confirmations, it sort of, makes, Trump's ability to, shape his lower level Justice Department appointees kind of makes it, difficult to cement them for the time being. But because there's so many loopholes in the statute that allow these officials to maintain their spots, basically they can be subdelegated after, I believe, there's a 300-day period following the inauguration, where they can essentially become subdelegates in this position. So nothing materially changes for them, but they don't really have the official titles. So there's a problem, I think, with being able to simply say, we're, getting these people confirmed. They would like to have their official titles, but if they don't have them, they're still going to be in those spots. I don't think there's going to be any problem, say, with Alina Habba in New Jersey, just because there's some defendants that are challenging her authority, saying that, she can't be the head of this department in New Jersey. I don't think those are going to withstand much muster before a judge, because the judge is ultimately going to say she's not the one prosecuting this case. There's other lower level, prosecutors that are handling it.
Thank you, Kaelan. You can read Kaelan and the rest of our investigations team's coverage at washingtonexaminer.com.